I'm Bridget.
I'm Kathy.
And we've decided to make a podcast.
Because we like the sound of our own voices.
And hopefully you will too. Our podcast is called Between Tantrums, and we're going to be talking about some of the joys and challenges of parenting.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Bridget, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh gosh, that's an exciting topic, isn't it?
It is, I'm here for it.
Are you?
Yes, I am.
That's lovely.
So are so many, thousands of listeners.
I don't think the world's ready for us,
I don't either. Brace yourself.
So tell you a little bit about me. So I'm Bridget. I've got a lovely husband, Andrew, and two great kids, Sarah and Luke, who are 17 and 15.
I'm Kathy. I have the wonderful Craig. We're coming up 20 years married in January, which is wonderful. And we have Ben, who is 14, going on 30, and Maya, who is 16, going on delightful. And yes, we have been friends for a number of years now.
A very long time. So we met when we were teaching at Otonga Primary School. Should we say we were teaching? Maybe.
I think so.
I think that should be
a great
okay.
school. I think that they'd be really happy to know that they had two prestigious alumni starting a podcast.
Indeed.
What year was that?
Oh, I'm going to say 2004?
It was after marriage? So,
yeah, we were married.
So it must have been 2007 then.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good because, that's right. I was thinking about the first baby, not the marriage.
Not the marriage.
While I was...
Which one has to be married before the
that's
baby
true.
arrives.
So no, it was about 2007.
Gosh, that's nearly 20 years too.
It must have been 2006, and then we worked 2006, 2007. It was a long time ago anyway, enough chit-chat about the old days.
A long time ago. We have to have a 20 years celebration, a salubrious celebration.
Yeah, and so when we were at Otonga, we were teaching in the early years in classrooms nearby to one another.
Yes.
And then we went on to have children at very similar times. In fact, we were very clever. We did a year. I had Luke.
Then I had Maya.
Then I had Sarah.
And then I had Ben.
So we managed to stagger a year each, which was great. It's been awesome.
And so she can walk the trenches before me, and I just scuttle along behind.
Oh, come on. And then from there, once we had children, we learnt about early childhood. And we had the privilege of being able to take our children to Play Centre in Hamarana.
Yes, lots of wonderful years at Play Centre, and I think that's really where my interest in children development really started. I don't think when you're learning to be a teacher and when you're actually teaching little people that there's a lot of time and thought gone into actually how a child develops and how their brain develops. So I think that really kind of set me on the path to where I am at now.
And how important the parenting role is and all of that.
1000%, yeah. And
I'm just going to check them for recording this.
Sure.
Because I have a sneaking suspicion. No, we're good. No, we can carry on.
Oh, good.
We're very professional. We've done
good.
lots of extensive research into this podcasting stuff.
And Bridget's going to be the expert cut.
Yeah, the editor. Yeah, that's
so that you won't even know.
It's going to be flawless when you see this.
Yeah, flawless. Yeah. Can't even remember what we were saying.
We were saying about the importance of parenting in the early years.
And I think I felt very blessed that I was able to stay at home for as many years as we did.
Yes, absolutely.
And that we had partners that supported that, and actually our career was flexible enough that we could be popping in and out of the classrooms and doing part-time work.
Pick up part-time teaching that we would work in around being parents and supportive parents of ours too, and grandparents of the children who were able to step in and help with childcare. And I also used some other avenues of childcare as well. So as did you.
Did you?
Yeah, we did a bit of home-based.
Oh, yeah, I've forgotten about that.
Yeah, isn't it funny how the...
Look, it's a very foggy time, isn't it, when you've got little people? It's very busy, yeah.
So from there, we went on to the children are older. Can you hear our daughters in the background, I wonder?
Aww.
They're quite delightful, our daughters.
They are.
Apologies if there is a bit of background noise. It's a teacher strike today. Power to the secondary schools.
We're right at dawn.
Teachers.
We're there with you in spirit.
So our daughters are hanging. they're quite delightful, our daughters.
They are.
So
Beautiful.
from there we learnt about our toes dipped into the early childhood education sector, and I loved it so much that I decided I would leave the primary sector and take a brave step and open an early childhood education centre, which I did in 2013. And I remember that year because my daughter was 3 and she got to be one of my foundation pupils, but for the 6 months prior to that, probably really the year prior to that, from when I had this harebrained idea, she got to be carted around to meetings and council meetings and bank meetings, and it was quite interesting to see how her play developed into replicating those kind of experiences in her imaginary play, and other stuff we'll touch on later. So I went on to do ECE and Kath.
So I still stayed in the primary sector for quite a few years, and I didn't actually ever think I'd go back full-time teaching, but in 2016 my husband had a health complication which meant he couldn't work, so back in I went, and I realised I still really loved it, and I really enjoyed working with the children, and felt that I could see myself full-time working again. But there were certain aspects about my practice that had changed because of what we knew about child development, and my own children's early childhood experiences was through a Stoner-based kindergarten in town, which was beautiful, and really they had such a lovely authentic play-based system there that really opened my eyes to perhaps when I was teaching little 5 and 6 year olds a decade or so before, maybe I wasn't doing them a service with how I was trying to teach them. So that opened my eyes up, and I went back to Otonga and had a lovely 6 months there, and then I was able to start up a new entrant class at the local primary school at Kaharoa, and was able to be where my children were, which was that was great, because that's the challenging thing, isn't it, when you're a working mum, is trying to balance where your children are at and where your heart is at and where your career is at. So that helped. I don't know whether they will look back fondly of having a teacher mum. I know when I stepped out of that space, which I'll touch on later, they did talk about how hard it was to be sitting in a classroom at 5:30 in the afternoon because mum's still working and they just really wanted to go home. So I know that they found that part challenging, but that's what it is. Sometimes there was no other way around it. I had a very busy husband, and and we got on and we did it, and they sucked it up. They didn't ever say anything until after I'd left that it was a bit of a sucky time for them. So it just made me feel like I'd made the right decision when I decided to move into starting our own nature school, which I thought about and talked about with Craig for many years, and then one summer before COVID, we've had some daytime margaritas, and I was womping on about it again, and he just said, well, stop going on about it and just do it. And I said, well, it's too hard, it's this, that, and he goes, it's not hard, you can do it. I was like, oh, maybe I can do it. So then that's in 2020, the beginning of 2020, that's when that really, I started looking into it and trying to get started, and then COVID hit. And then we were all at home, and that was a real blessing. I know it wasn't for a lot of people, but I loved lockdown, and gave me a lot of space to be working towards opening a nature school, which we did at the end of that year. And we've been doing that twice a week with an amazing team ever since. Yeah, it's probably all the detail you need to know.
It's a good level of detail, I think.
Yeah.
I like how you said it. We got on and we did it, because I think that was just, when you're a parent, that's life, isn't it? You've just got to get on and do it. It doesn't matter what it is, but whatever you're working through, you're it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much who we are. We both live in Aotearoa, New Zealand. We're fortunate enough to live a little bit out in the country, so we've got a bit of land for our young people to grow up with.
Yes.
But I was born and raised in Rotorua. I've spent some time overseas travelling and working over there and as a teacher, and I am very fortunate now to be able to own the early childhood centre that I work in, and still have a lot of connection with, obviously, with teachers and parents and children, but also I've been able to extend that network to other centres and also travel overseas to see what's happening in some other communities of learning as well. So I think, is that all we really want to? Probably bored you enough for today.
Yeah, it's probably a lot of words. But we have, I think the whole purpose of that is just to let you know that this is all from our perspective, and this is our collective wisdom between the experience that we have. Whether or not that resonates with you listening, that's totally in your court, but we just like to chat and
there might be some things that we share or that we talk about that we've done and it worked well for us, and it doesn't work for you. Or
we might have had a complete disaster and maybe you just want to avoid going down that rabbit hole.
That's
we can share that with you too.
We can help with that too. So over the course of this series, I don't know what we're going to call it. We're going to talk about lots about parenting and lots about ways that you can help your little person to navigate their early years and their later not so early years. Because we see so many parents in the course of our work and over the decades that we've been involved in education, we've seen hundreds, probably potentially thousands maybe.
Yeah, possibly.
Of parents and
lovely parents who are just wanting to do their best for their children.
Absolutely.
And sometimes that's where we dig our own holes, is perhaps we overthink it a little bit too much, and we maybe don't go with our gut instinct, or we don't have someone to say it's actually okay. Yeah. You're doing all right.
100%.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap this session up for today, but we do want to hear what you want. So if there's stuff that you want us to talk about, or a situation that you're finding challenging, we'll try and bring some gems.
Just a different perspective. Sometimes that is helpful, and sometimes it's helpful because you go, I don't want to do that. I'll keep doing what I'm doing, and that's okay too. And
that's sometimes the joy of parenting, is you see other people do it, and you're like, I'd never do that.
What are they doing? What?
Well, gosh, that was a really good way of doing that. I should borrow that.
Going to store that for another day, a rainy day.
Cool. Okay, thanks, Bridget. No.